How would I describe the Oaks?
Friendly.
Welcoming.
Engaging.
Supportive.
Wholesome.
Nice community.
Caring teachers.
Inclusive.
Structured.
Amazing.
Motivating.
Exciting.
Focused on the individual.
Kind.
Positive.
Welcoming.
A supportive community.
Inclusive and friendly.
Great subjects and teaching staff.
Unique.
Diverse.
Inspiring.
Family.
Innovative lessons.
Safe and supportive.
Fun.
Passionate, understanding teaching staff.
Enthusiastic. Loads of opportunities.
Creative.
Optimistic.
Confidence boosting.
Academic.
Inspirational.
Friendship.
Outstanding.
And how do we describe an Oaks student? Individual, hardworking, and they definitely make us proud. Good evening to everyone that is joining us tonight, and welcome back to the students that have been watching us in the last webinar and are probably already fed up of my face. But I'm Miss Samuels. I'm in charge of student interaction and media at Oaks College. I'm joined by my amazing colleague, Mr. Marzawi, who is the head of Oaks College. And I'm also joined by some amazing students who are past and present well, very present. And we've also got just escaped us as well. So I'm going to introduce them now because it's really lovely to have them all here. Now, as tonight goes on, you might have some questions that you'd like to ask us, whether you're a parent, some questions that you'd like to ask regarding your son or daughter, or perhaps you are a student and you feel that your question wasn't quite answered in the last webinar. Hopefully we'll be able to answer them tonight. I have just noticed that we've got another one of my colleagues that's joined us, Mr. Siposh, who is the Deputy Director of Oaks College, and he specialises in progression and UCAS and apprenticeships and all of that lovely business. So I'm sure there'll be lots of questions to ask him. If you do have any questions, please click on the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen, and we'll try our best to make sure that every question is answered. If there are any questions that we feel are maybe more personal or perhaps need to be dealt with in a different way, we will ask you to perhaps email office@oakscc.org. That's office@oakscc.org, and we'll try and deal with every individual case the best way that we can. And as quick as we can as well. But let me introduce our current students who we've got in the room today. We've got the lovely Dev, nice big way. We've got Victoria, we've got Neve, Izzy, Amy, and our current student president, Ella. There you go, glowing down there from getting that award of being the student president recently elected. And we've also got some alumni students. So Sam has literally just left our college, looking very sad about that. We've got Katie, who left us, 2 years ago, and Hannah, who left us 3 years ago as our alumni, to answer any questions about the Oaks support bubble, and also from what we do afterwards as well. So if you do have any questions, please fill our Q&A box. I'll hopefully be able to ask them all to our amazing panel as the night goes on. But the very first question I've got is, why did you choose Oaks? So this is all to all of our students. What made you choose Oaks as a college? And did it live up to the expectations you had before you chose it? I'm going to start off with Sam.
Hello. So I went to secondary school at Netherhall. So by the time I was getting into year 11, I had known my teachers for up to 5 years at this point. And the subjects which I wanted to do were subjects where I know I'd have similar teachers. So I did law, physics and drama. And I knew for my drama teachers, and I knew for my physics teachers they'd remain the same. So they'd know my strengths and weaknesses as well. I'm sure a lot of other people will talk about tonight is the small size. In my physics class, we had 3 people in our first year, which is effectively what a private school would offer you. It was pretty much like one-to-one tuition, which honestly made all the difference. Having that small environment, it was just a no-brainer, really. I thought to myself, yeah, this is the place I want to be.
Fantastic, thank you. Katie, what brought you here? You were a Bottisham student beforehand.
I was. I'm a bit similar to Sam. Small class sizes were very appealing to me. I've always wanted small class sizes. I felt they helped me better learn. And definitely the teacher's willingness to teach. I felt on open days I was welcomed thoroughly, and they wanted to teach me all the different subjects. So yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Katie. Izzy, from Sawston originally, what made you choose Oaks College?
Yeah, so I was really excited about the small class sizes. I think a lot of people are going to mention that tonight, but it really does make a difference, especially like in secondary school. The classes were 25 to 30 people, and now they're all under like 16. And it really does make a difference when it comes to one-on-one support and when it comes to help with your exams and revision and things like that. I also was... I really liked the community feel that I got, that everyone knows everyone, and wherever you go in the school, you'll always have someone to talk to and someone to sit with, which really does make a difference.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Hannah, must have seemed quite a long time ago that you made that decision, but what made you choose Oaks College?
Yeah, so I actually missed like the open evening that we had. So I came in for like a tour, just like have a look around and get like a feel for it. And I was able to, because it was in the summer, like speak to some teachers that were in. And I was unsure of what A-levels I wanted to take at this point. So I was able to speak to like some of the science teachers to decide what subjects I wanted to do. And already getting that support from the teachers before I'd even made the decision to come made me feel like if I came here, I'm just going to get even more support from them, which is something that like at that point I felt like I really needed. So yeah, it was a no-brainer really.
Brilliant stuff. And if you are sitting there and you're thinking, gosh, I haven't had a proper tour yet or look round at the open evening because COVID got in the way, the great thing is that we are available to help some students that feel that they need to come and have a look around before they start with some specialist tours. As long as you contact us, office@oakcc.org, we'll try and fit you in before the end of term. It is a very busy term, but as long as COVID restrictions are all okay, we'll see what we can do. Let me move over. We're still talking about what made you choose Oaks. I'm going to go over to Dev because you also went to Netherhall.
Yeah, I also went to Netherhall. I was a year below Sam, and I knew the teachers, and really my maths teacher, Mr. Tanton, we were kind of like talking about what I was going to do next, and he was just like, Dev, if you do well in your GCSEs, take maths. And I was like, okay, so I did, and it's been a really good decision so far. And the main thing, apart from that, that drove me to pick Oaks was the small class sizes. I know loads of people have said it before, but in 2 of my 4 classes, there's only 4 students. So there's a lot of one-to-one support, but also just outside of academia, there's teachers are still there to support you socially and mentally and kind of whatever you're going through. They really want to just check up on you because, we're all people here, not just students and teachers.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Victoria, I think you went to St Bede's before, is that right?
Yeah.
What made you come here?
Sorry?
What made you come to the Oaks?
Yeah. So at first I completely wrote the Oaks off. I wasn't sure. It was just described to me as the Netherhall sixth form. But I was persuaded to come along to the open evening, and I was really shocked and surprised in a really good way. Really small classes, lots of teacher interaction. The teachers were really passionate when I came to the open evening. They wanted to talk to me. They were interactive and really passionate about their own subjects. Also, the Oaks is the only sort of local college that does a law A level. which was something that I was really interested at the time and still really enjoy. So that definitely put it above the rest.
Fantastic. Thank you, Victoria. Amy, what made you come here?
Well, I think when you're looking at colleges, it's important to definitely visit if you are able to, because it really, being there helps you understand what it would be like to go there every single day for basically 2 years of your life. So I went around Long, I went around Hills, and I just knew that it wasn't the right place for me. I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel that the teachers were there to speak to me and tell me about my subject. I mean, I went for an interview and there was no one to talk to me about drama. I got a physics teacher and they didn't know anything about my subjects. And then as soon as I came to the Oaks, I was greeted with people who knew about my subjects, knew what I was wanting to do, how I could improve, everything was just there laid out for me, and it felt right. You walk into the college and you feel like you are part of the community already, and that is very important, and that is why I chose the Oaks.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much. Neve, what made you make that choice?
So I know everybody's already said about the small class sizes, but I was someone that was, which I think might shock a few of the teachers, I was very quiet, I was quite reserved. And so having the smaller classes, I felt more confident in, I was lucky enough to do the taster day, which was, I think it was like a quick hour lesson, just kind of with the teachers gauging what you already knew. I was answering questions immediately. It was from that moment that I knew I wanted to go here. Another big factor was, for me, it was that I do history. I'm very passionate about the Tudors, and this school has a lot of Tudor specialists, and it's really good for that.
And when you say Tudor specialist, I always think that Mr. Ward's going to come out, or Mr. Williams is going to come out dressed as Henry VIII or something like that. But they are very passionate about their subjects, like a lot of the teachers. Don't worry, we won't have dress up like that. So you don't have to dress up as a student when you're coming to study any of these subjects. But there is such a passion, I think, that the students share and the staff share for all these subjects, which I think is sometimes a joy for everyone to learn in this environment. Ella, student president, what made you come here from Comberton?
So when I was looking around at the Oaks, I really liked the facilities. We have an amazing study room with loads of Mac computers that I wasn't used to in my secondary school. So that was really inviting. Also with media, we have our own studio, which kind of made me want to come to the Oaks more, because it felt like the teachers were really there to support you and wanted you to do really well on your subjects. So they've given you all these amazing facilities where you can use them at your own leisure. And yeah, that's one of the reasons why I've chosen the Oaks.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. We've had a couple of questions asked about textbooks. I'm going to come to you first, Mr. Marzawi. The question is, where can we find the information as to what textbooks to buy for? And Brendan has asked, is it recommended that you purchase your own copies of textbooks for home use?
Good evening all, and thank you. So you're free to purchase copies of the textbooks if you wish to have an additional copy at home. All essential resources will be provided on the college site, so no student has any barriers to their learning. And if you want to find out about specific textbooks or revision guides to buy, I think it's best to speak to the contacts of each subject that are available on the website, so they can advise you directly as to which books to purchase to help preparation for your A-level studies.
Absolutely. And if you go back to your induction page and you click on the picture in the bottom left corner, which talks about your getting ready for sixth form life, every subject in their future page, their ready page, and their next steps page have got books that they recommend. Now, as Mr. Marzawi said, we will provide you with all the equipment that you might need if it is something that we feel that every student should have. And we do have bursaries to support students in that way as well. We often have students that have got secondhand books as well that we can talk about and help you out with. And there'll also be lots of copies online and resources to help you out along the way, I am sure. So thank you very much for those questions there. We've got... oh, some of these questions have disappeared before I've seen them. I thought they were there and they've just gone on there. But we've got one here. What will the first day be like to compensate from them not being able to have any live open evenings or induction days? We are in the planning stages of them right now. Mr. Marzawi, Have you got an idea of what they'll look like that very first day? Oh, I think we've lost Mr. Marzawi. Otherwise, he's stunned to silence. I'll move over to Mr. Siposh instead.
Hi there. Yeah. Yeah, the first day, we actually like to jump into the lessons. We'll make sure that you feel safe, make sure that you feel welcome, but we will jump into lessons straight away. But then within the first week, we'll have a bit of a break, and we will make sure that people know exactly what they're doing, reflect upon their time, talk about their subjects. This is something else that happens at the Oaks. You can change subjects because we're quite small. There is quite a lot of movement. So we'll make sure that you do feel very welcome. We'll pair you up with our current, well, what will be our year 13s. And I think people feel at home really, really quickly. Neve, Ella, have you got anything to say about how you were made to feel at home?
Well, quick story was that I was the only one from my secondary school that came to the Oaks, so I knew no one. But on the first day, we kind of like got into our form groups, and we were really able to get to know one of each other, and also the common room and the atrium. We were able to like socialize with our peers, and everyone is super friendly at the Oaks because we are such a small community. So you really get to know one another, and also in the classes, the teachers are super friendly and they are here to support you. So I felt immediately in my first class that I knew that I was going to do well because the teachers were really friendly, they were supportive, and yeah, communication is amazing really, so I felt welcome straight away.
Neve, anything else that you wanted to add?
I think Ella summed it up really well. One thing I will say is, like, it sounds really stupid. I was so worried that I wouldn't know where to go, especially since I didn't come from Netherhall, but there was always someone, a year 13 or a teacher, that would have been happy to take you. As Ella said, you start off, you get into your tutor group, so you talk to your tutor and get to know them, and then you go into your lessons and immediately you start making friends. Like, you sit down and you talk to people, and the teachers are very encouraging. It's not you're not all sitting there in silence just making notes, which is just really brilliant.
Thank you very much. I mean, the biggest questions that keep coming up are, because they haven't had an open evening or induction days live in person, a lot of students might have chosen a subject out of thin air and are not really sure what that actually feels like or what that actually is. Izzy, I know that you joined and there was, lots of thought of the subjects that you went for. Can you explain the process for you and how that happened?
Yeah, so I did change around a bit in September, and because the Oaks is so small, I had really good opportunity to try a couple of different subjects. I spoke to Miss Marsawi and my form tutor, Miss Samuels, and I was able to sort of explore a couple of different subjects, which really helped the decision and make it easier for me. So I think if you're coming up from secondary school and you're picking something, especially that you have never done before, there is a chance for you to try it out for a couple of weeks, and you can change around and you can get a taste for different things, so you can choose something you're really happy with.
And Neve, I know that you changed your subject last minute. What were you going for originally?
So originally I wanted to do psychology, but when I went in for my interview, we needed to decide some backups, and I chose sociology as a backup. And then when I got my confirmation email saying that I was given a conditional offer at the Oaks, I was thinking about it, and I want to be a teacher, and I knew that in the sociology course you do a lot about education. So I emailed the school and said, listen, can I swap psychology for sociology? And I was worried that they were going to say no, or it's too late for that, but they were like, yeah, that's fine, all good. And I'm so glad that I did, because I'm enjoying it so much.
I'm really glad. I can see Katie smiling away because she is at the moment training to be a teacher and did the sociology course as well. I'm sure we'll be coming over to you in a second, Katie, because I'm sure there'll be lots of questions to do with UCAS and progression with that as well. We've got a question here, and I think this is probably on the mind of a lot of our parents, Mr. Marzawi. What is the provision for learning in the event of another lockdown or interruption to face-to-face schooling?
Thank you, Angela. And for me, I'm first and foremost very, very proud of the response we had to the COVID lockdowns and to the to the continued learning that our students, experienced during the current pandemic. And I'm sure they will answer the provision that was put on often, but many of them experienced live lessons when we were forced into lockdown. Some were invited in for subject-specific catch-up days, providing we could uphold the integrity of the bubbles and ensure that everything was COVID safe. We did everything we could to maximise face-to-face teaching, contact and continuity for the students. And I'm sure we would do everything again in the unfortunate event that we would need to lock down again.
Thank you very much. Amy, you're a media student. We've got a question here. Do you need a camera for media studies? And if so, which one should you go for?
Okay, you do not need a camera for media studies. All equipment you could possibly need is right there in front of you. We have a huge studio where we have loads of things on offer, and what are they called, Miss
DSLRs.
DSLRs, and those cameras are amazing. Trust me, I've used them on many things. We filmed music videos right at the start of the year, and I filmed mine on that, and it was just the perfect quality. And everything in the media department is provided, along with photography as well, because I also take photography. Cameras are provided. We get the whole Adobe cloud for free with media students, photography students. I think any creative subjects you do where you use Adobe, you do also get the whole creative cloud free. So everything you need is provided for you.
Fantastic, thank you. Mr. Siposh, we've got a question here for you. How big are the tutor groups and how often do students meet in their tutor groups?
Okay, the tutor groups are maximum of 20, and that will be made up of a maximum of 10 year 13s and 10 year 12s. The idea, we haven't been able to mix as much as we'd like to, but the idea is that the 13s help the 12s through the process. So sometimes we'll all be together as a group, and sometimes we'll be separate as a group if there's things to be discussed for a particular year group. You meet one-to-one with your tutor every half term, but that's as a minimum, because you can meet your tutor. We organise a tutor group so that you're likely to be taught by your tutor. So if you need anything, they're always around. And some people like to meet 3 or 4 times a half term. Some people once is enough, but you always check in with each other. And we have a really good, I think every tutor has a really good idea of how their tutee is doing.
Good stuff. Thank you very much, Mr. Siposh. We've had a question here. What support is given for progression after Oaks? I'm going to start off with Hannah, who joined us, who left 3 years ago, and I think is still in the same position. Well, not the same position as you were when you were a student, but you applied for an apprenticeship, am I right?
Yeah, I applied for quite a few apprenticeships actually in accounting, but I got one in tax with Price Bailey, which I'm still at the moment. So when I was actually at the Oaks, I can remember writing out my CVs and cover letters. Mr. Sposh and my form teachers would be reading them constantly. I can also remember having phone calls where it was just out of the blue and I was literally on the phone and I was like mouthing to Mr. Masawi, I was like, it's a company, and he was like, quick, come into this room. So he would sort me out so I could have like a private conversation and like almost like phone interviews. So everyone was so accommodating, like when I was going through that, and obviously that was when I was still studying, so they just offered so much support, and yeah, it was really helpful because I managed to get the job. So
fantastic. And it sounds like you're loving it.
Yes, definitely.
You're working from home at the moment with the current situation.
Yeah, since obviously it all started, so it's been a while, but offices hopefully will open again soon.
Stuff. Thank you very much, Hannah. Sam, you recently left us. Where are you off to next year?
I'm going to Mountview in London to do a foundation in acting.
Fantastic. And how do you feel the support was there for you in terms of progression?
Yeah, it's brilliant. I can kind of talk about it from the sort of conservatoires, if you want to get into a conservatoire route, and that all the teachers in the arts, so both the art teachers and the drama teachers, are fantastic, and they know what they're doing, and there are students who have gone to these things before, so they know, they have experience in that. For example, we have former drama students that have, one went to Guildford School of Acting, one's just made it to RADA. So it's not like teachers have no idea how to get you there. They're experienced in the university application route. What happened this year is because we couldn't do face-to-face auditions, we had to do a video audition of like some of our monologues, and both of my drama teachers really helped out with that process, and were there to help pick out monologues, help critique my monologues, all that, which was brilliant. I was going to film it, and then the day I was about to film it, I was forced to isolate, which was a bit of a shame. I was really annoyed at that. But I mean, the teachers are always there for you to talk to. And again, like, I keep on going back to the small classes, but when you have so few people in your classes, it means that the teachers are able to focus more time on you and writing a better reference, and on giving you better sort of guides and better sort of experience and stories. So overall, it's just been fantastic.
I think maybe not the word better, but a more detailed, because we get to know our students so well, and be able to support them and get to know their niches and their hobbies and what they're like, so that we can be really accurate with what we write, which I know that universities love to see. Katie, training to be a teacher. Neve, keep those ears open to see what you need to do for the future. And how did you find the whole process of UCAS and applying?
Hang on.
So exciting that she's had to get rid of the earbuds just to tell us what's going on. Oh, we can't hear you. I'll go to Victoria and I'll come back to you, Katie, if that's okay, because Victoria is currently one of our Year 12 students, and I've heard through the grapevine are looking at the sort of Oxbridge application. Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping to apply to Cambridge, and all people who want to apply to the Oxford universities, University of Oxford or the University of Cambridge, are given extra help from an external person. So they will have personal meetings one-to-one with you and go through and help you with your personal statement, and not only sort of writing it, but what you need to do for it, because Cambridge and Oxford have very specific sort of tick lists, so they really help you with that, and it's really personal, so you have the best chance of getting there that you can.
Fantastic, thank you very much. Have we got Katie back?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. There you go.
Yay! So I am trained to be a primary school teacher, and I'm at Anglia Ruskin University in Cambridge. So I finished my second year, and the process of doing it was so easy. Mrs. Sipples used to sit down with me after school going, "Yep, that looks fine." There were some tricky questions that I had to go through. To be a teacher, I had to have like a DBS and lots of different teacher exams. So I had to, sit down with Mr. Sickwash, and he used to go through with me and everything. So it was really easy, and yeah.
Fantastic. Mr. Sickwash, have you got anything else you'd like to add at all based on our progression route at the college?
I just want to say that it's very individual. We celebrate everybody, and we try and support them into the route that they want to go to. And everybody who does what they want to do, we see as a success. And there are lots of varied paths that people go down.
Absolutely. And if you want to know any more, please go back to your induction sheet, and there is a whole page dedicated to After Oaks. So it talks about the apprenticeship routes. There's a little video of Hannah and Katie talking about their process and what they're doing right now. And we've had students go on to, as Sam said, going on to do drama school or conservatoires. We've had students going on to play for England. We've had students that have gone on to take on apprenticeships and take those university routes. So there's lots of different options, and we'll try and support you as best that we can, and as Mr. Siposh says, as an individual, to give you the very best support. Transport next. This seems to be a very topical question, and I think because of COVID it has been tricky to run things as smoothly as we always do. Let me just ask the current students, how do you get to college? Amy, how do you get in?
So my sister in year 13 used to drag me in, but since she left, obviously I've had to make my own way into college. So I get a train from Ely Station to Cambridge Station every morning, and then get the number 1 bus or number 7 or number 1 bus straight to the Oaks. You can walk if you're feeling up for it. It's not too far, but I prefer to get the bus, and it works out perfectly. I normally leave like an hour and a half, depending on how busy it is, because obviously we are in central Cambridge, and then going out to the outskirts, it can get busy. But I normally leave an hour and a half, and it all works out fine. I get there in perfect time for my lessons. Obviously, trains are sometimes a bit unreliable, but in the most part, they are very reliable, and you can get to college very easily.
Fantastic. Yeah, we're about a 12-minute walk from Addenbrooke's. Dev, how do you get in?
I just live in Cherry Hinton, so it's just like a 15-minute walk for me.
Sure you're here.
Yeah, I'm just basically, it's just a really short walk. So yeah, I just wake up and then I'm there basically. So yeah, it's pretty chill for me.
Thank you. Ella, how do you get in?
So I get 2 buses into school because I live outside Cambridge, so I get another bus into like near the Grand Arcade in like the centre city, and then get obviously the number 1 straight to school. So yeah.
Thank you. Is that the same for you, Neve?
I am very lucky that one of the girls in my class, we live 5 minutes away from each other, so we drive each other into school when we can. If not, then I bus to my dad's.
Good stuff. Does anyone have any other way? Do you come in on like
I come in by car. My mum works nearby, so I come in by car. It means that I can't come and go from home and college, so you have to be organised with what you bring in and have all your resources with you. But yeah.
I think you're a very organised person, though, Victoria, from the sounds of it. So that's brilliant. And we do have students that come in on their bikes. We do, as we said in the last webinar, have bike sheds that you can bring your own lock, and they're exclusive for our sixth formers to use. And we do have some sixth formers that drive in and then park nearby, so that they can get in too. Sam, were you going to say otherwise? I heard you.
Yeah, I was going to say some people in our year used to motorcycle or moped in, which I thought was pretty hardcore. I just was walking in, I'd see my classmates on a motorcycle. I was like, why me? But yeah, so yeah, motorcycle.
People coming in on a hoverboard or a skateboard, then I'll be impressed, Sam. That's the way forward on there. Brilliant stuff. We have a question here. How can you support my son who has additional needs? So what sort of support is there to make sure that they have the best experience at Oaks? I'm going to come to Mr. Marzawi first and foremost.
First of all, thank you very much. We're keen to support all students overcome any barriers to learning. If your son has specific learning needs, I'd ask you to please contact Oaks office at oakscc.org, so that we're fully aware, so we can make sure the transition from secondary school to college is as smooth as possible. So aware of those needs, so that we can make sure that from day one those needs are met, and it can be as smooth as possible. So please contact us to arrange a meeting, and a member of the Oaks team will be more than happy to give you a call to raise our awareness and ensure that transition is smooth. Thank you.
Fabulous, thank you. We've had quite a few questions about the start of term, what day is it on, and how's the best way to get there. You have got your induction booklet, so if you go back to that fabulous video that you might have seen Mr. Marzawi's face and Ella's face on, underneath that is our induction booklet with loads of information on there. And Mr. Marzawi, did you want to add to that?
Yes, I mean, the induction booklet is there and has all the essential dates, but the start to term may alter slightly given the recent guidance that students are going to be required to test negatively twice on site before starting the academic year. So currently we're still planning to start on the date in the induction book, but if there is a slight amendment to that, we will of course contact all applicants that are attending Oaks to make them aware, and you'll find out more about that at the enrolment at the Oaks. And I've seen that there was a question on enrolment. Yeah, so you can enroll. We encourage you, once you've got your results on the 12th of August, once you finish celebrating your excellent results and the hard work has fully paid off, we'll encourage you to come to the Oaks site, where you'll bring a copy of your results, and we will enroll you at that point. We'll complete all of the paperwork, confirm your subjects, and let you know when we're due to start. If for whatever reason you cannot come in to the college site because you're away, or because there are changes to any of the guidance, we have an enrolment at oakscc.org email that will be manned by the staff. If you cannot attend, please email that so that your place is not lost here at the Oaks. So I know many of the spaces will fill up quickly. So please email in and someone will get in contact with you if you cannot make it onto the Oaks site.
Absolutely. And if there is any changes to any of our processes because of things that happen, because of outside our control, we'll always make sure that we try and contact you best through the email addresses that you've provided with us and keeping in touch, but also through our social media channels and our website. So just keep your eyes peeled, but I'm sure, fingers crossed, everything will go smoothly and we'll be fine. Let's think about a normal day. So let's forget like the world of COVID and everything like that. What does a normal college day look like? When does it start and end? Dev, go on. When does it start and end?
So basically, it starts bright and early at 9. So yeah, it's kind of early, but not too much. And then you have an hour. Well, currently, this is COVID, but currently it's 50 minutes for your first lesson. And then you have an hour and 10 for your second lesson. And then you have a 20-minute break. Then you have a lesson. And then you have a 20-minute break. And then you have your final lesson. Wait, is that 4? And then you have 2 more lessons. I take maths as well, so it really should be better at this. And then you have 2 more lessons.
Remember that, don't panic. Don't panic. We'll ease you in.
You have 2 more lessons after that. And then that's the end of the day. It ends at 2:40. So that's actually pretty early in the day, which I kind of like because then you have the rest of the day, go see your friends, study hard, but go see your friends. And yeah, that's really the main thing. Just have fun with the rest of your day.
Fab stuff. Thank you very much, Dev. Yeah, as long as you know that, you know, sometimes we start at 9. Sometimes you might not have that very first lesson though. It all depends on your timetable. It might be that you start at lesson 3 or lesson 2. As long as you are there a few minutes before your class starts, because we want you there ready to learn, you'll be fine. And yes, as Dev says, around the 2:40, 3 o'clock mark, you'll be leaving our site. But you can stay a little bit longer if you want to use the study room, and that's absolutely fine as well. So we've got that one there. I keep seeing this question about free time. I don't know this word free. What do we mean by free time? Or maybe we'll rephrase it as study time. I'm going to ask our alumni students first and then go to our current students. How did you use your study periods, Katie?
I used to get on with my work. And then we used to use the time in our study periods. And then when I went home, I didn't have to do any work. Homework, but obviously still doing revision when it got to the exam seasons. Or if I didn't have any work to do, talk to my friends, and yeah, play games.
Fantastic, thank you. Hannah, were you the same? Were you getting work done in your study periods? Did you have relaxation time?
Yeah, so I used to either be in the study room, or if the way that the timetable, well, my timetable was, I used to go into like my teachers' classes if they were teaching, say like another year 12 class, like the same subject, just so I was like in the right environment. I wasn't going to get distracted and I could just sit at the back and get on with something. So like my maths class, when he was like maybe redoing a topic that I wasn't too sure on, I'd just ask like sit in the back, which probably the small classes helped with that as well. But yeah, if there wasn't any work to do, if I was really organised, then yeah, I'd be in the common room just chilling out and relaxing before going to another lesson.
Fab stuff, thank you. Amy, how do you spend your study periods or free time?
Well, because a lot of my subjects are coursework based, I do have normally quite a lot of stuff to do, and using the Macs in the study room, obviously have all the Adobe Cloud on there, which I've already spoken about. Everything's there at your fingertips when you're a media student. Also, Miss Samuels obviously, sorry. Miss Samuels sometimes lets me come and sit in the class and do my work on there. Yeah, and if I've not got work to do, which is very rarely, I will just sit and chat, but that is not the best thing to do if you've got work to get on with.
Well, we say that, but we do want you to still be able to chill out. You don't have to use absolutely every single study period to stress yourself out and get every single piece of work done. There will be the freedom for you to, you know, relax with your friends, because I'm sure there's some people there that are sitting there going, when will I get time to chat to my mates? And there will be that opportunity. And I think the great thing is that there's so many different learning areas that you could be in. You could be in the silent study room, but you could be working together with your mates and doing extra stuff. Izzy, I can see you nodding away. do you use your study period, you know, sporadically? How do you get it to work for you?
Yeah, so some days I come into school early and do my homework, which means then I can still use my free time during the day if I have free periods with my friends to spend time with my friends, and I still get my work done. So then when I get home in the evening, I can just relax and see my friends then if I want to. But I think it's just as important to spend your frees with your friends, because like in your lessons it can be quite stressful and you need some time to like unwind and get ready for the rest of the day.
Fantastic, thank you very much. Mr. Siposh, what are the expectations of, you know, working from home, working in class? What's the balance like, would you say?
I would say if you have 15 hours of face-to-face teaching a week, you should be doing 15 to 20 hours of personal study. So if you look initially to do 30 hours a week, you're looking at about 6 hours a day. So you could fit it in 9 to 3 every day and have your afternoons off, or you could space it out throughout the day. When it comes to exam time, we expect a little bit more work, but I think anybody who works systematically throughout the day does actually have time to have their evenings free.
Fantastic, thank you. Would you agree, guys? Does it feel like a lot of workload? Ella, I can see you shaking your head there.
Well, like when I came to the Oaks, like one of the tips from the teachers was, you know, stay consistent with it. Like consistency is key, because I know once it gets to exam periods, it can be quite stressful. But one of the tips is, you know, as soon as you get your work, if you just stay on top of it and do small amounts each day, you will, you know, find it a bit more relaxing, because you're not obviously overthinking and trying to get everything done all at once. But the study, like your study periods and like free time, you know, are there for you to do like your homework and like extra work. But, you know, it's also good to, you know, catch up with your mates, obviously. But yeah, as long as you just stay on top of it, I think you will be able to like get the hang of it and manage it well.
Absolutely. And it is different to GCSE because you're not doing as many subjects as you did before, but you are concentrating on those areas a lot more. So you do have that study time to make sure that you are getting your notes ready, and you've got the support of your teachers to help you along with that. We've had this question here: how do you ensure everyone is part of the community that you talk about? Because I think that is something that we do have really strong here. Is there any bullying? Is there any clickiness? I can see Sam nodding away. I'm hoping that you're nodding at the community part.
Of course, yes. So, I mean, yeah, this is one of the things where I kind of came into the Oaks thinking I might struggle to make friends. Like, I obviously have some friends who came over from Netherhall, but I thought to myself, it's a small school, so there's less potential to make friends, you know. Actually, it's the other way around. With a small school, people know you. You're sort of more forced to integrate and actually talk to people. I knew friends from other schools, which I will not name, who basically stuck to their friendship group for the whole, their friendship group from secondary school for the whole of their sixth form period, because they were it was so big. Being a small school means that we are a lot more of a community, a lot more of a family. The common room isn't very big. It's compared to a lot of places, it's very, very small, and that again, it means that there's more chance of you interacting with people who you wouldn't normally interact with. In addition to that, you've also got loads of extracurricular stuff, which I think is the best way to make friends. Extracurricular, going to clubs. We have enrichment, which is like a certain period in the day dedicated for like a certain thing. That is your best opportunity to make friends, and just, you know, be yourself. You know, as long as you're a nice, friendly person, which I'm sure we all are, you know, you're going to make friends here. So do not worry. Don't worry.
Good stuff. Would you agree, Katie?
Yes, definitely. Hannah was in the year above me, and our years got on so well. We used to play games in the common room all the time. And it was really nice community feel, and I feel that all the students can say that, and we're lucky to say that. But yeah.
what I love is that I feel that the students can really be themselves, and that's really clear, and you know, they get to work with one another and be individuals. I've really seen that from you, Neve, and your friends, that, you know, with your I think there's been some sort of dressing up and things like that, and working together. How have you found being a part of Oaks and the community?
Oh, it's just brilliant. So how my friend group kind of formed was there was a few of us all from the same school, a couple people that we picked up in the first few weeks, and we had a really long free period. We had 2 free periods, one after the other. So we're like, we'll play some Uno. And I think by the end of it, people, you know, just ask you to play. I think there was easily about 14 of us. Ella, I think you may have been one of them. And yeah, I can't remember how we decided it, but it was the week before the end of the first half term, and we're like, let's all dress up, and we all did. I'm known for dressing up a little bit. I have a lot of yellow dresses, so we all dressed up. Even the boys were in like ties and shirts. It was fun, and we've tried to keep it up. I know we're planning to do one next Friday as well.
Fancy Fridays. I like the sound of. I think me, Mr. Marzawi, and Mr. Siposh need to find a way of making the most out of Fancy Fridays as well. Izzy, I know that you know, coming to here, you came from a school where Sawston had quite a lot of people coming through. Have you stuck with the same friendship groups?
I've met a lot of new people since coming to the Oaks. My like sort of core friendship group, people I spend most of my time with, none of them were from Sawston, and I didn't know any of them when I came up. So it's been really great to sort of make friends with new people. In terms of people who came up from Sawston with me, there are people who I was never even friends with at Sawston who I'm now really, really close with, and it's sort of, you know, you see a different side to people and you spend a lot of time with them, especially if you're in your lessons. So you make friends really, really quickly.
Fantastic, thank you. We've had a question here that came up in the last chat as well. Are lockers available to be used by students? Ella?
Yes, they are. We do have lockers in like the Oaks building along the corridors. I don't personally use one because my subjects, I take drama, media and law, so I don't really have much stuff to carry around me, so I'm not like a complete expert on it, but they are there for you to use. I think you just ask the office, if I believe, I'm not too sure, but you know, as long as you can just, you know, ask somebody and they'll direct you to the person who's in charge of the lockers, and they are there for your use, obviously. Yeah.
Fantastic, thank you very much. And we do have the availability over in the media and the creative departments to have specialised lockers for equipment if that is something that you want to do, is to bring your own cameras in. But like Amy said, we do have lots of things like equipment for you to use that are in college that you don't have to worry about lugging that big camera on your back to come in, or that laptop, and we'll sort you out. We have had a question here, which I think we will answer privately on there, which is just about our exam results. But what I would say is that something that we really sort of are enthusiastic about is the progression of our students. We concentrate on the success of our students, of where they're headed and where they want to go. So in terms of what we publish on our websites, is there about the progression routes. If you have a look on the induction page, it will allow you to see how our students have moved forward from the Oaks, the success that they've had there, and the support that we give them to really help them. But I'm going to come over to Mr. Siposh now, because the question here is, where can we access subject exam results for the Oaks for recent years?
Okay, everything is published. Our general thing is published on the Department for Education website. Now, that's been stopped for the last couple of years. So, I mean, if people want to know the subject, then you can email us, and I don't think there's any secrets there. It's because our cohorts can be quite small, they don't often tell you a lot looking at general trends and statistics. So talk to us, get a feel for the place. And if you want more specific information about a particular subject, then just email me directly, and I'm happily talk to you about the strengths and weaknesses within each subject area.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Mr. Siposh. What is your approach to LGBTQ+? I'm going to move over to Dev. Can you help us out there, please?
Hiya. So as part of that community, I know that everyone at the school is really, really welcoming and really encouraging everyone to just be themselves. One of our enrichments is actually part the LGBTQIA plus kind of like where people can meet and yeah, where people can meet and just, you know, be comfortable being themselves. It's nice to, you know, there's not a lot of us, so, you know, sometimes we've got to band together. But even saying that, everyone is basically an ally at the school. No one has really said anything like derogatory towards me in any way. And I know my friends are extremely supportive, and I know that's probably, you know, carried throughout the school. But yeah, I love, you know, just being here and being myself and no one really judging me.
Fantastic. Yeah, and we do have an amazing club that is, you know, run by our students, for students. And Dev's absolutely right. I've loved going past and seeing what they're chatting about, you know, whether they're talking about topical things that are in the news and exploring that, whether they're talking about, you know, being bisexual and what that might mean, whether it's, I've seen them painting pebbles and stuff like that as well, which I've wanted to get involved in and get stuck in, but I've had to run to a lesson. So that, you know, it's a really fabulous community with all of our enrichment projects, and especially LGBTQ+. We have, as a college and as a school, we've got the Gold Kite Award. It's something we really celebrate and make sure that in all of our subjects, we do celebrate individuality. And sexual preference is absolutely something we do approach and look at in a very mature and adult way, because we want to make sure that our students feel comfortable being themselves and being an individual. So we have a question here. Another question about what if I've chosen the wrong subjects. We did touch that earlier on. Don't panic. That's what the first few weeks are all about. As you can see, the students are nodding away. A couple of them did change in those first few weeks, and we will support you to make sure that you get the best help and support with that. We are coming towards the very end of our webinars. It has been an amazing day. We've had lots of students email in and get involved and tweet in and Instagram us and let us know of all the different things they've discovered on the websites. Remember, that induction page is exclusive to you Year 11s for you to be able to tune into and look at whenever you want. In the very bottom corner, there is some progression work, and it's there for you to watch the videos, find out more about your subjects, get to know them a little bit more and see what you discover ready for September. There's also the corridor, so you can go and have a look at some other subjects if you just want to be a bit nosy, if you want to go and see what Victoria does in English literature, or if you want to go and see what Izzy does in biology or photography with Amy, then you can go and have a look at those virtual classrooms. We also have on there the opportunity to look at what our support is like. And I know that sometimes can be a question that a lot of parents have, is what is the pastoral care like for our students, especially those that might have mental wellbeing issues or worries and concerns. Sam, I can see you nodding ahead. Can you explain how you feel that the college best supports students like that?
We have a pastoral supervisor. I don't know what we have a legend called Miss Davies, and she is, I mean, look, everyone's not, I mean, there we go, I mean, come on. She's like the sort of the designated mental health person. That's not to say that other teachers can't handle mental health. All the teachers are there to talk about it. If you need to talk about whatever, they're all supportive. But Miss Davies is the sort of the specified person. She also runs a mindfulness enrichment sort of activity, which is, I guess, sort of meditation and positive mindset, stuff like that. But she has a room where you can pretty much go to any time, unless there's someone else in there. If you want to just open the door and have a fat breakdown, she is more than happy to accommodate that and to talk through your issues and sort of help you on your journey to positive mindfulness. She's an absolutely fantastic person. I'm very, very lucky to have such an amazing pastoral team here.
Absolutely, and we do have a special high-level TA as well to work with students if it was something to do with organisation or need extra help and care, and to support your needs in that way as well. And also, which we'll be explaining on your induction sheet, we do have extra pastoral support. So of course, Mr. Marzawi, Mr. Siposh, myself, and the rest of the tutor team and the sixth form team are there to help students and, you know, to talk about anything, whether it's just a bad Monday morning or particular subject worries and things. We're there to support you, and that's explained all on that sheet there. As I said, there's also your UCAS and apprenticeship after support, and lots of information on there. And if you're not, you know, if you feel that's still not enough and you still want to know a bit more about Oaks, we've got an amazing Instagram page, which is not run by any of us teachers. It's actually run by our student council, who are grinning away there. Ella and Neve are hot off the press with the Oaks Instagram. Please do sign up to that. You'll be able to chat with similar students to you that are finding out about Oaks life. The student council will be able to answer any of your questions that you might have. All you need to do is to look up the handle, which is Oaks Future. It's all over our webpage if you want to go and have a look at that as well. And that way you can communicate with some current students and some future students and see what all the fuss is about and see if we can answer any of those questions. I'm going to lastly ask my favourite question of all. And the reason I like asking it is because I feel like I'm like a sponge and I can absorb all of these amazing words and then use it for myself in the future. So I sound like a thesaurus, but actually it's because of all of you guys. So my favourite question to ask is, you know, how would you sum up the Oaks? What word is the Oaks for you? Okay. I'm going to start off with Katie.
I'm glad you do that, because I'm going to steal the one that everyone's going to say is is the family kind of feel community. We're very pride ourselves on that, and I feel like all the students can say that as well. So yeah.
I saw all the disappointment on everyone else's faces when they were like,
sorry guys.
Fantastic. Hannah.
I'd have to say encouraging. Just you get encouragement from all your teachers just to be what you want to be, and they encourage you towards your goals as well. So yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you. Our student president, Ella.
I'm going to say engaging. I think the lessons, I don't think I've had a boring lesson yet. Well, I don't think I'll ever have a boring lesson. So the teachers are really engaging. The communication is amazing, and you get really engaged in the lesson. So yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Dev.
I'd say progressive in all facets, not just your own self-progression, but just culturally progressive and just there to help you move forward in life.
Love it. I'm learning all these new words to use in the future. Great stuff. Thank you. Amy.
Well, mine's not too interesting, but I know it sounds weird, but the Oaks makes me feel warm. So using warm as a descriptor for the Oaks is, I think, perfect, because as soon as you walk into the Oaks, it feels like you're getting a giant hug.
You know what? You say that's not interesting. I think that's really lovely to hear. And, you know, that's how you feel about it, which is great. Thank you. Neve.
I think I'd have to say chatty. In the corridors, there's always teachers that will say hi to you, even if you don't have them. Always someone to talk to. So, yeah.
Great stuff. Thank you. Sam.
Well, there's one word, a name, which inspires glee in Oak students. You just have to utter the name, and an Oak student, no matter how bad their day will just become immediately better. And I'll explain why in a moment. But that word, that name is Wendy. But there we go. Wendy is our dinner lady, one of our dinner ladies, and she is the embodiment of Oaks. She's the nicest. She's just a living legend. She's brilliant. So if you ever want to cheer up an Oaks student, just talk about Wendy. So it's not an adjective, so you can't really go Oaks is Wendy. I mean, I don't know, but I mean, Wendy, we love Wendy.
Good person, isn't she? Yeah, absolutely. If you visit the Oaks Cafe and you'll see Wendy, who runs the Oaks, she definitely does embody the Oaks feeling. Great stuff. Thank you. Victoria.
Maybe Oaks isn't Wendy, but Wendy is Oaks. My word would be motivating. I am motivated in terms of academic achievement and making friends and just enjoying my time there.
Fantastic. Thank you. Izzy.
I'm going to say exciting. I think there's so many different opportunities, and like every day, especially in lessons, there's always something exciting, something new. So that's
Oh, fantastic. I mean, absolutely. I love going past different classrooms and seeing the great stuff that people are getting involved in and working on. And even just the discussions seem exciting. But we also have those amazing opportunities of going to New York, you know, going and finding out different work experience opportunities, going over to London and explain and looking at Parliament. There are fabulous opportunities for all of our students to explore. Mr. Siposh. He's stunned to silence. He's speechless. That's how he describes the Oaks. Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't unmute myself there. Sorry. Unmutable. There you go, the word. It is a fantastic place to work, and I really love the energy. It's energetic of being surrounded by such fantastic young people every day. It's a real privilege to be there. Energetic is my word.
That was my word on the last one. I feel like you've stolen it from me, but I'll let you have it. Mr. Marzawi.
For me, and I say every year, I get prouder and prouder of having the opportunity and the unique privilege of leading the Oaks College, to work with the special staff that we have that are committed to making sure that the students maximise their learning, their potential. But also, I have the privilege of working with the special people that choose to come to the Oaks and that make it the special place that it is. And I'm sure when you arrive in September, you will only add to the amazing community feel that's here, and I'll be even prouder as a leader to lead the Oaks students.
Thank you. I think my last one, we've said it throughout today, but it's the community. I think every student that comes through our doors and the staff brings something special that helps us all work together as one. We are all individuals, but we all work to create such an amazing place to work, amazing place to learn, and amazing place to be. So thank you to everyone that has contributed to that community, and especially contributed to tonight. We've had some fantastic questions from our audience, so thank you so much. If there was any questions that you feel weren't answered specifically to what you want to know, and you want to find out a little bit more, please do contact us, office@oakscc.org, and we'll hopefully get you that answer as soon as possible. I want to say thank you so much to our amazing alumni, Hannah, who's off to work in the morning, so we better make sure that she gets some nice rest now. To Katie, who's training to be a teacher. To Sam, who's getting ready for Mount View in September. Good luck with that. And thank you to our current students who, you know, just make us proud every day, like everyone that comes through our doors. Thank you for being here tonight. And thank you to my colleagues. Have a lovely evening. We look forward to seeing you amazing Year 11s become Year 12s on the enrolment day. Remember that there is the opportunity to look through the induction booklet, which is underneath the video, which features Ella and Mr. Marzawi. We will answer any questions if you do need to by email, but we look forward to seeing you after the summer. Have an amazing one, rest well, and we'll see you then. Thank you. Bye.